Okay, now we're going to have a look at this question 25. We're going to use fields from both the sports and the ratings tables to produce a report which contain a new field, show only the records. We're going to filter the records, and we're going to create the report. Now, what we have to do first is we have to create a query to create this daily cost. We also need to create a query to filter the results before we can actually produce the report. So the first thing we're going to do is to create a query from this. So let's go to create, query design. We can add both tables, and you can see the relationship is already here because we saved it in the last step. Let's pull this down. Okay, so first off, we're going to add these fields. Course code, location, activity. So you just double click, course code, location, activity. Level, duration. Residential. And daily cost. Now, daily cost is something that we're going to be creating. We're going to create it as a calculated field. Now, to do this, we add it in the top here under field at the very next one along. And to do this, we type in first what the title is going to be of that field. Now, it says the title needs to be called daily cost. So we type in there daily cost. Okay, very important you put an underscore, no spaces. And what we do is we next add a colon. And what that tells us now is that is the end of the field title. Next, we're going to have a look at the calculation. So the calculation is where we're going to decide what we're going to do with the fields. Now, what we want to do is to calculate the course cost divided by duration. So we put the field name in a square bracket, and you have to make sure that you type in the field name exactly, otherwise it won't work. Okay, so we're going to type in there course cost. And from spreadsheets, remember the divide, so we can use our divide, and duration again in your square brackets. And when we click away, we can see when we run this, we can see we've got our daily cost field here. Now we need to now display this as currency, and it needs to be the euros. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to this design view here. We're going to click in this field, and we look at something called property sheet. Now from this property sheet, we can then select currency. We got euros as an option there, so we're going to select the euros. If we click on run, we should be able to see that we've got the daily cost, which has created it to 2 decimal places in euros as currency. Okay, so we have the first part completed. Now we're going to have a look at the filter for the records. I do recommend that every time you add one of these filters, you do run the report, you do run the query just to check that it's working. So we're going to say the type is water. So we look for our type. In our sports, let's have a look. So we have our type here. And as you can see, type is not going to be, it's not one we've added. So we're going to add this in. So we're going to double click on type. And we should see it appear here. Okay, now we're going to type into there the criteria, water. Now we're going to, again, check this query. We're going to run this query, and we can see the type. We have water here, like so. Okay, the residential, we want it to be yes, only yes. So we're going to go back, have a look for our residential. Type in there yes. Again, run that, and we can see residential is yes. Now the duration is 12 days or less. So okay, so we want 12 days or less, the duration. So we're going to say less than or equal to 12 because we want to include the 12. And let's run this again and just make sure duration 12 days or less. Okay, excellent. Now we got one more to add. Excludes those activities in Scotland. So we want to put in there not Scotland. So we're going to have a look at the location and we can type in, there's two ways of doing this. You can type in not Scotland. As we know, not is a reserved word. And or. Okay, we click on run and you can see we should have none showing from Scotland. Now another way you can do this, apart from typing the word not, is you can use these symbols here like so. It does the same thing. We click on run and again it takes out Scotland. Okay, so we're going to now save this query and close. Okay, excellent. So we have our query showing here. If you can't see the query, click on this button here, all access objects, and click on all access objects and you should see it appear here. Okay, now we're ready to start building our report. So to do that, we're going to go to create and report wizard. Okay, now from here, we want to find the query that we just created, which is called query 1. And now we're going to start adding the fields that they've requested. So we have course code, location, activity, level, duration, residential, daily cost. And they want it in this order and make sure that the labels are displayed in full. Okay, so let's have a look at our next. How do we want to view our report? If you can see the ratings, it's going to add the level and split it. We want to have them all together at the top. Click on next. Any grouping? It doesn't have any grouping here. Next. Okay, the sort order. Now what we want to do is sort in ascending order of activity with an ascending order of location. So we can select activity and location, and if it was to say descending, you would click on the button and you can see it just changes every time you click. Okay, but we're looking for ascending activity and ascending in location. Okay, good. Next. And okay, so we're looking for landscape on a single page wide. So we click on landscape and this button ensures that we fit it on a single page wide. Okay, next, what title do we want? We have the title here, residential water activities. Click on finish to preview the report. Now there's still a bit of work that we need to do on this report before it's ready to print. First of all, we need to put it in the right order. So course code, location, activity should be in this order first. Okay, so to change it, there's two ways. You can use this view here down at the bottom, which is the layout view. You can see there's quite a lot of space that we don't need, so we can reduce this. And the same for location. If you hold down the shift button, you can select more than one, the field label and the field details itself. Okay, we're just going to reduce this. Oops. Okay, you can see we can't see the full label here. Let's go move over and the same. Okay, great. Now we're going to start moving these to order. So course code, location and activity. So we're going to move the activity to this side. The course code, again I'm holding down the shift button to have more than one. Course code, location, activity, level, duration, residential. So we're going to go to level, duration, residential, and where are we going? And daily cost. Okay, this is okay. Excellent. Okay, so now we're down to here. We're going to calculate the total number of course codes in this selection and positions this under the course code column. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to count how many records. Now to do this, we need to change the view. We need to now go into this view here, which is the design view. In this design view, we have these are the labels, ones at the very top, and this is where the information is. Now you'll see up here we have a few options. In the design option, we have our formulas. Now we're going to look at calculates the total number of course codes. Okay, so course codes, we click on course code and we want to calculate and count the records. So click on this total. Make sure you're clicking in on the detail part, not the header, because this is the label. You can't create a formula on the label. So we're going to click on course code, totals, count the records. Now when we have a look at this, we can see we've got a total here as 41. Okay, so we have counted the records, and now we need to add the label total water codes to the right of this number. So let's go back to our design view. We're going to click on this button here, label, drag a box, total water codes. And let's just have a look at this report. Okay, we have everything showing. We have all our labels visible. We have our calculation, total water codes. Now you just need to add your name at the bottom of the report. Again, the design view. Click on this button here to add your label. I'm going to put it in there. Okay, and you will see the name appear right at the bottom there, like so. Okay, that is the end of question 25. Now, what it says here for the printouts, place in the evidence document a screenshot showing the formula used to calculate the total number of activities. That would be in your design view. And you're going to take a screenshot that looks like this. And which is when you want to paste it into here, it's always good practice to make sure it is visible. So we're going to increase the size slightly. Okay, and that is your evidence added for this question. Thank you.